morning YouTube, welcome to my stitch with me. There isn't a stitch with me, it's actually going to be a kit with me. So what I'm doing today is I'm kitting up my mermaid sow. This is the fabric that I've picked. Excuse that it's crunched up. So this is a 28 count and it is hand dyed by Rwanda. I'm not sure how she pronounces it, so if I've mispronounced your name I'm really sorry. So a bit of thread. This is what I've decided to use. It's an opaly scent fabric. It's not what I normally would pick. In a 28 count I will stitch over two threads over two. So I've already kitted up some of my thread drops. These are the thread drops that Jess and I collaborated on. Oh yeah, it's the beginning. Here we go. Can you see? So hopefully, yeah, it's just this colour that, and I still think it will show up because any blues will be quite hard on this fabric. So I didn't have all the threads that I needed for this project and I had to do an order. So let's have a look and see if there's anything that's going to be close to my fabric. This one is going to be close, which is 3761. Maybe a problem, but depending on where it is, I may have to back stitch it. That's all. Apart from that, everything else looks really good. So I hope you've got a coffee or a cold drink, whatever suits. Put my fabric aside. I've got another order from Stitch NZ. That's the place that I predominantly buy my threads and things from. So here is a few Krenix. I bought one of the treasure braids because I couldn't get the Krenix of it, and a few of the beads, but a lot of beads I couldn't get here, so I think I will sub out for some of the colours that I've got in the Celtic summer and Celtic autumn, that sort of thing. So talking about that, wanted to show you my Celtic summer. I couldn't remember which one it was. I have beaded her dress now. You'll be thinking, why have I not finished her? Because I am short of beads. And you'll be thinking, why am I short of beads? Because I kitted it up for what I needed. Well, what I use is the Tacky Bobs. I think they're renamed now. Tacky Bill, Tacky Bob. I'm not sure which name it is now. Maybe it's Tacky, yeah, one of them. It's a tacky thing. Don't trust me in names for anything. So what I do is I just tip my beads in, and normally if I've got a project like this where it's got a lot of beads in it, I will tear up a piece of paper and put the number or the symbol next to the bead so I can remember what bead that is. And that's what I did with this project, and all the rest of it that I have beaded, I put the rest of the packets in the Tacky Bob, Tacky Bill, the Tacky whatever, and yeah, I can't find it. It wasn't with my project, so I had to order all of these pink ones for sure at the top, and I think the green ones, a few of them as well. So I ordered a few more packets of them, and they should arrive tomorrow, so I can continue to finish her, and hopefully by next week when I do my update and my giveaway. So I hope you have gone to my last video and have put in for that. And if you don't want a pattern from Haid or Pain Free Crafts, if you want it from like the Cross Stitch Studio or somewhere else, if I can do a rack from that, I'm quite happy to do it for somewhere else. So still put the code name of pattern, but you have to put it on the last video. And if you win, we will sort it all out. So yeah, she is going to be very blingy. Unfortunately, it doesn't show up in this video as much. I don't think any video shows up how blingy they are. So let's start kitting up. So how I do it is I just pull a thread out of my bag and then find the number. So 3, 8, 14. I could have done this one. These novelty thread drops look really cool. The numbers on them are fantastic, but actually cutting them up, the tails catch the threads and they're not as much fun to cut them up as I thought they would be. So I just pull my thread. So what funnies have been happening? Wow. Dave has, every week we have a local paper and it shows any jobs that are available locally. So each week he has a sit down and has a wee read to see whether it is anything that he's interested in. Not that he's looking for a full-time job or anything like that, but he still has a look just to see if there's anything interesting in it. So this week there was a job for a lifesaver at the local swimming pool, and he goes, oh, I could go for that. This is a person that can't swim to save himself. He actually swims like a rock. He has a real issue swimming. So I was going, oh really, do you think you could? He goes, yeah, I could do that. He said, do you think they would mind if I had floaties on my arm for the to go to show them how well I swim? I said, yeah, I think that might be a giveaway. So I may be teasing him every day, actually probably every hour. I say that I told Brendan about it, and he's on the joke, and he said the same thing. He said that he wants to, if Dad goes for that job, he wants to come and see him swimming as well, because he knows how well he swims. And he said when he goes for the swimming demonstration to show how well he swims, he said, do you think if I say that, is there going to be a lifesaver just in case I need it? I said, yeah, I don't think there's any chance in heck of you getting it. So I said, boy, you're going to be really busy between your life-saving gig and your dog walking. You're going to be pooped at the end of the day. So thankfully that it's all just a good joke, because there's no way that he's ever going to do that. For example, I went with a girlfriend to Vanuatu one year we went for a break, and so I could go scuba diving, because that's one thing I could never do when we were on holiday with Dave, because he doesn't swim. We have gone snorkeling in a lot of the islands we've been, but as soon as the water is too deep, he doesn't like it. Vanuatu was really cool because they have this post box underwater that you swim to, and you post your postcard. So that was pretty exciting. 3847. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I had booked for a lot of excursions on this Vanuatu trip, but I found that I couldn't handle going on the buses to travel to these excursions because it made me quite sick. So quite a few of them I actually pulled out on. And that was 20 odd years ago. I was teasing Dave yesterday. I was saying that, did you want to go to Australia? And he goes, maybe, because he's been talking about it lately, that maybe a holiday to Australia would be really cool. I said, well, I could buy a raft or a blow-up boat, and I said I could just float it out the Clutha River. I said eventually you'd make Australia. He didn't see the funny side of it. I thought it was quite funny. I said I'd even give you a fishing rod. I said you could catch as much tuna as you liked. So as you can tell, we have quite a few laughs daily, and we tease each other quite a lot. So I had a big purchase this week. I had been looking at, you can get these cat nets, they're called, and I was thinking that the best idea would be to, I've got a porch outside the front of our house, and I was thinking we could put this cat net all around our porch, and then I could open the sliding doors over summer, and Coco could just come in and out, and I could sit out on the porch over summer with an iced tea, but it's no ceiling fan. I thought about it at the time. I thought maybe I should put a ceiling fan out there, and I didn't, and I wish I had have. I put lights out there, but no ceiling fan. So, because that's very much a overseas island thing, but I think it's going to be very hot here over summer because we're not used to it being on the island, because there was always a cold sea breeze. So I was going to get this cat net, and Dave was kind of coughing and spluttering at $400. And he said, and then he goes, oh, it will block our view. And he goes, I don't think I want it. And he goes, why don't you get one of those portable cat cages? They're called catios. And they're for, they're 1.8 meters. So they're not that small. So I thought, maybe. So I bought one of them. So that was $700 by the time I bought you could get a wee hammock, a cat hammock in it. And I bought some turf, some grass turf to go underneath it just in case she wanted to lie on the ground. I didn't want it just on the concrete. And so we're going to put that on the porch. We'll put it right next to our door. Oh, it's just started raining. So I thought that was a really good idea. And Dave's been coughing and spluttering ever since. He goes, boy, your cat's expensive. So, and I said, well, the cheapest option was the cat net. And I said, because I had looked at that and I thought it was a really good idea, and I thought, and he's going, but it was going to block our view. And I said, well, it doesn't bother me about blocking our view because I can't see it anyway. And he goes, but I can. I said, but the problem is she's going to be isolated in this cage out there. Is she even going to use that? I said, whereas if we sit outside with, which I could see us doing in the afternoons or even in the morning with a drink, I could see her sitting out, wanting to come out with us. So, yeah, I'm not sure that this will be that great anyway, but we'll see. So that will arrive in the next week or so. Posty's going to say, oh no, not another big package, because it's got a steel frame. So I'll show that. David's tomato plants have just popped their wee heads up, so that's pretty exciting. His cucumbers are looking really good, but his lettuces are looking really weedy. He's not very good at planting just one plant in his wee pots. Everything's going to have to be transplanted, because you see lots of plants in a pot. I think that's just due to his close eyesight. His close eyesight is as bad as my distance eyesight. So I'm feeling a lot better than I was. My eyesight still isn't great, but I am working on projects with big accounts, like the 16 count. I was working on my my mini something. It's a Dominic Davidson one, mini home one, cabin home, and yeah, I don't enjoy the 16 count full coverage. I don't know what it is about it, but I just don't. I think it's too big. I actually don't find it easier to see, which seems silly. I find it just as hard on my eyes. So hopefully 18 count. I find 20 count fine. I am using my magnifier a lot. I have a knot now. Don't know if anybody else does this, but gets wee knots when they are doing their threads. Look, can you see that? That is not my fault. That is a join in the thread. TMC never used to have that, I don't think. I ever remember that. When we got married, which was in 1991, I think. Yes, 1991. Because Brendan was born in 1992. I used to do, I was doing a tapestry image then. I didn't do cross stitch until Jess talked about it just before the pandemic, I think. She was saying, oh, we should, was saying, oh, I'm going to buy these cross stitch kits. And I said, oh, I just think you'll hate it, and rah-de-rah. And then she got the cross stitch kits and she absolutely loved it. And I'm just going, really? And she was showing me what she could get, and it was so much different than what I could get in 1991. And so I looked at the kits that she was getting, and she was mostly getting the counted ones, and I got a few of the stamped ones. I got a counted one and I didn't enjoy it, and then I got the stamped ones and I did them, and I was pretty much a monogamous stitcher. And eventually I progressed from them into my heights, and I have progressed from my heights into my pain-free crafts. I have decided that I've got a lot of Hades patterns. I have got a lot. Am I going to stitch them? I'm not sure I am. I think I'm going to be quite subjective on what I stitch. Say somebody that just bought 3 more patterns in the last few days. Pain-free crafts is retiring a couple more designers, I think. There's a few more patterns. So how I find out about them is I'm in the Pain-free crafts Facebook group, and Sarah has on there when she's going to retire anybody. So I keep an eye on that, and that is probably the only patterns I'm buying now is anybody that is retiring, or anything that I absolutely fall in love with. Oops. No, that tag fell. So I will put them on the screen, the ones that I bought. Jess and I bought the wolves one, the one that I'm going to put here. Jess and I both bought that pattern since it's retiring. I think they're retiring at the end of the month, so you do have a few more days if you're interested. And the leopard one I bought as well, but I don't know about it. I have a few issues with it. Jess pointed it out as well. I had an issue when I seen it. The way that the legs straddle, the back legs straddle the tree limb is an issue to me. My cat does it. She straddles the back of my sofa, so it's not like it doesn't happen. But they look too long to me. That tree limb, I was thinking, oh, maybe it's not as thick as it looks. That maybe it is quite deep, bit thinner. But don't trees, as they grow, it's the rings. Oh, I don't know. I thought every year they have a ring and it's circular. Do you get what I mean? I'm not sure. I'll put a picture here of what I mean. I think I'm going to crop it. I know I'm going to crop it if I ever stitch it. I bought it because it's getting retired and I kept thinking about it. I've seen it quite a lot. I've seen other people stitching it and I do like it. I love the colours of it, but I have issues with it. I just don't think it's analytically correct. I think that's what my issue is with it. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So if anybody else can see that, if anybody else can figure out if it's correct or not, or is it just me? I'm not sure. So I'm going to crop this. So I will put an image of how I thought I was going to crop it. So I might even do 2 images. So I've had another thought about it, and I thought maybe I should crop it to just below the tree limbs, so I don't see those dangling legs. Maybe that's an option. So I have to have a wee play around with cropping and see what I like to have a rough idea of how I would stitch it. And the other one that I got was, Dave didn't think it was so funny me telling him that that's how he could go to Australia. He's going, do you want to get rid of me? And I said, no, I was just being funny. And I said, I don't think I could handle a trip to Australia at all. I said, even just doing the flight, going through the airports and things like that. I said, you know that customs and that, the way that I stagger and things like that, I'll get pulled over for the drug tests and and all that. So yeah. And I have to work it in with my infusions, because it's a pain having infusions every 6 weeks. So as of, I think, midweek, I'm pretty sure it was midweek, we don't have to wear masks going to the doctors and hospitals and things like that anymore. So that's going to feel really weird. It's been at least a year, I think, that we have had to wear masks. So things are pretty much getting back to normal here. You think spring is in the air and the birds are chirping and everything else as if spring is in the air. But it doesn't look very nice out there. Dave's going to pick up more carts this morning. He's got another, he picked up 15 yesterday. And he's picking up another 5 today, I think. I think he's got 45 now. I'm pretty sure that's how many he said. You can see I have them a lot shorter on these thread drops than I normally do. Just to make it easier. It just means that I'll be darning in and out a wee bit more, but that's okay. I'm not sure I needed them that short now. I think it was just in the beginning when I was doing the thread drops. Hey, that's why I've got that number thread drop on my ring. So these thread drops are done really well, that they hooking into my blanket, they go on the ring really well. The holes at the top are very good. I was saying to Jessica that we have to make sure the holes at the top are, because I've started, instead of using just my table rings, I've started using this type of ring. I bought quite a few from AliExpress, so I can kit up lots of new projects. Oh, exciting news. My threads for my All Hallows Eve will arrive this week, so I'll be able to kit. I've got a knot in here somewhere. I'll be able to kit that up. And Holly, the cross stitch addict, is going to start that with me, do a sale. So I'm going to hold off starting that until it suits her when she's ready to start hers. So she's going to do hers in Sexy as well. I assume that we will both do ours on 20 count. So that's super exciting. So I'm in no rush to start that. That could even be a New Year's start. I've got lots of projects in the meantime. I was working on my Greta Goldbloom yesterday because of course that's the 16 count. I was trying to get a wee bit more of that done. I worked on the broom. Boy, I reckon I frogged as much as I stitched at one stage. Right, 500. What is my next one? 562. It's really nice not having to put the numbers on these. I hate when, oh, there we go. She just popped out the tag. It's a lot easier with the DMC than CXC as far as finding the ends, I find. Sometimes with CXC it's quite difficult to find the end of the thread. Normally where you find them, instead of, you always find them at the end where the tag is, the bottom end for the DMC. For CXC you normally find them in the middle at the top. Well, that's where I find them. Sometimes you just have to put it on your hand like a bracelet. Put the whole skein on your hand like a bracelet and just do it that way. But it's definitely worth it because the 15 cents I think it costs us here in New Zealand versus $1.65. I think it is $1.60. It might be $1.60, $1.65, something like that. A pack of beads, Mill Hill beads, is $4. I know that because I just bought some. So yeah, I don't intend to buy many more patterns at all. I've got way too many. I bought all those Dominic Davidson patterns, the minis. I'm unsure whether I will do them as a mini or I need to buy them as a full size. I'm just not sure, to be honest. I hoped that my mount cabin home, mount cabin home, the piece that I'm working on, I'd hoped I would have got more done on it. I think I'm at 17%. Don't quote me on it. I'll tell you on my next update. I hoped I would have got more done on it, but I don't know if it's on the 16 count or it's just because it's mini and it's very confetti heavy. I just don't enjoy stitching on it that much, which I've got other pieces that are more confetti heavy. Here a plane. Coco's now having settled down to have a sleep. It's not cat TV this time. So yeah, Dave's plants are growing quite well. Apart from the lettuces, he's quite disappointed with them, but the cucumbers look really good. It'll be a long time before they go outside because we're still having frosts. I think it's the 1st of September is the first spring here. I cut my fabric for my Harry Porter the other day, so I've done all the threads. They are on cat thread drops. So that's really cool to have done. Brendan's still in the sling, which is really weird to still see him in the sling. I can't believe that I have been doing Flosstube for a year now. I didn't have a Flossiversary. I missed that one. I'm not sure what date I actually started it last year because I was actually so sick when I did start it. And I was thinking that was before I was actually diagnosed with my MS. I was thinking at the time, oh, maybe I'm just really stressed about having... I knew I wanted to do videos, and I was thinking maybe I'm just stressing myself out about doing the videos, and maybe that's what it is. So I was thinking, oh, maybe it's that. So I just need to do it and then see if I get better after it. And no, I didn't get better. It's funny when you look back at it, because I've been actually having these issues for years and years. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? 7:20. I haven't got my log burner going today. This is the first day. I didn't get it going until about lunchtime yesterday either, because it has been getting so hot in the house if I've been having it going in the morning. That's why I just put a top underneath my short sleeve shirt. So I don't have I won't light the log burner until after lunch because it's been getting too hot in the house. The other night, after having it going in the morning, even though I have it turned right down, it was 32 degrees. It was just a wee bit too hot. Even last night, I think it was 30 degrees when we went to bed. And I said to Dave, this morning, I said, was it too hot last night? And he said, I was actually a wee bit cold during the night. I said, really, were you? And he goes, yeah. I said, do you think it's because I turned the ceiling fan on about 3 times during the night? And he goes, did you? I said, yeah, I turned it on because I've got the control. Funnily enough, I might be a control freak. I turned the ceiling fan on and I set it on for an hour at a time. And I just go back to sleep because I was so hot. So I had to laugh over that one. And he was saying, he normally has his feet just sticking out. And he's saying, oh, I didn't even have my feet sticking out last night. I'm going, oh, really? I said, I was sweating that much that it woke me up. So I turned the fan on. So the last couple of days I had, instead of taking the sleeping tablets, I'd taken half a sleeping tablet, and I didn't have the horrible taste, but I didn't sleep very well either, because I'm running short of, I don't think he gave me 3 months supply of my Finnegan, which he has given me to help me sleep, and it helps for allergies, because it's that I have allergies all year to, I don't know what I'm allergic to, but I come out in welts. Don't know if it's something in the environment. It's not as bad here as where we were. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hot drink, runny nose, constant around here. So yeah, I am running a bit short on my Finnegan, and it's not something that you can, here in New Zealand, you can just go and buy at the chemist. You need to have a prescription. So I need to make an appointment on Monday. I need my EpiPen as well, because we have a beehive man. I don't know what you call it. Is it an aviarist? Anyway, he does, we always just call him the beehive man. I don't know what it is. He's got beehives, and he takes them to people's places, and then he collects them and he gets the honey. Unfortunately, when he collects them, obviously all the bees aren't out of the hives. I thought they were, because they smoke them out, but or maybe he has them still with the bees in the hives at his house. Maybe he collects the whole hive. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of bees around his place, which is just down, it's a couple of 100 meters from our house, if that, maybe 100 meters. And I'm highly allergic to bees, so I need to get an EpiPen to, just in case I get any come inside again. They seem to be very much attracted to our house, so they sit on the outside of our house when it warms up. So I need to have EpiPens on hand. Not only do I get have to have the injection from the EpiPen, I also have to go to the hospital and have an injection from there as well. I'm highly allergic. I've got 15 minutes from being stung to get help, because I start to have breathing issues. And it's not only am I allergic to bees, I can't even have, I have issues with honey. I can't have bee pollen products. Anything like that. Like even, I have to be careful with some dressings that have honey in them. So yeah, it's a bit of an issue being so allergic. I guess it's like people that have allergies to nuts. I haven't been stung for a few years now, because on the island you didn't really see many bees. You've seen wasps, but not bees. It's quite funny, we have, they're called hoo-hoo grubs in our wood, so they eat the wood. But we had one log that had a few hoo-hoo grubs in them. I think it's an Aborigine name, the hoo-hoo grubs. They might actually have a different name from what we have them in New Zealand. Maybe it's a Maori name. And they have developed wasps in the holes where the hoo-hoo grubs were, and Dave was saying that he had a look and he said there's no hoo-hoo grubs in the holes anymore. And I said, I assume, I might be wrong, I said I assume that the wasps actually eat the hoo-hoo grubs. So they burn well though. Any of the ones that had the hoo-hoo grubs in them have burnt really, really well and have burnt really hot. So we don't bring any of those logs that have got holes in them inside, just in case they have got a wasp in, because with that being so hot inside, they will come out. I don't really want any wasps inside. So, well, I think I'll leave it at that. And as you can see, I have not done all of it. Some of my threads are a lot shorter, as you can see. And the reason why they are shorter is because I kitted up Coming to Room by Jan Patrick Krasny, I think. And I was going to stitch that, but in the end, I have actually decided that I'm not going to stitch it. So I de-kitted it, but I'd cut the threads really short for that. And yeah, I have decided that there is one pattern that I'm not ever going to stitch. I actually think I even bought it twice. I think I bought the beginning Coming to Room because I didn't think it would really matter, but I think that's the one thing I have an issue with. Why would you sell a pattern that I don't really think should be charted in that size? For example, the beginning Coming to Room, I don't think is big enough. It's too small for the size of the, but why why sell it that size? Yeah. Whereas Sarah wouldn't do that. She sells it for the appropriate size for the pattern. I think that's the difference in designers, but that's just how I feel. I might be wrong. I just feel, I guess I have more faith. I'd never ever do a supersized pattern. I don't care who it is. I have got a big pattern. I have got the animal panorama. That is, I suppose it's not that big. It's 900 by 354 maybe. Because it is long, but it's not that high. So I want to start that next year at some stage because it's got a lot of animals in it. I'm really interested to start that, and I think it's going to be very confetti heavy because of all the animals and all the detail. So that is one design I really do want to start. But apart from that, I'm not sure I'm going to start too much next year. So it'll be the All Hallows Eve and maybe the animal panorama. I was going to start that Lake Cabin by, I think it's Jeff Haney. Pretty sure. I'll put a picture here somewhere. I think it's Jeff Haney, but I don't think I will. I'll put a picture of the animal panorama too. It is by Adrian Chesterman. Don't quote me on it. We know what my memory's like. See, they get tangled around the mermaid tails. Maybe I should have put them on the tail instead of on that loop. Maybe I should have. Where is that cord? There we go. Okay, so I have been putting all my tags in here. I've got a halfer. So that is, I've got a cup holder in on my sofa. So that's really cool. And the cup holder does not belong in this sofa. It belongs in the other one. So I really like the idea. Dawn tangles her threads, or not tangles, she wraps her threads up like this. Dawn from Enchanting Stitches. I will put her YouTube channel up here, and then she puts her threads in her, and she has them, and I think that's a really cool idea. So I will do that when I have finished. So this is an hour long. I think that's quite long enough for you to hear me blabbering on. I will load this up for the next couple of days. Dave has definitely gone and is picking up these cups because he hasn't come back in. So it is going to look stunning. I think this on this. I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy stitching on this though, because it's stitching over 2, and I just hope that I don't miscount and do it like half a stitch over, because it's going to be different than stitching on Ada. But I don't have an itch an issue stitching on even weave unless if you can connect the stitches with each other, it's easy. But if you're counting over 2 other stitches, it's not quite so easy. Well, I don't find it quite so easy. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for all my subscribers. And thank you so much for all the lovely comments I've had. Wow, I had heaps of comments last time, and what I've done is I have the studio, is it the YouTube Studio app on my phone, and it just has the YouTube name with the number at the end, and I have just used that for my Tiny Decisions wheel, and I've put everybody's name in that has entered the competition, and I keep doing that every day that I have anybody that's interested, and I will spin that next week. And it may be a very short video, and I do the update later. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes, because I have my eye appointment. It might be the day after that I'm meant to do the update. I'm not sure. So I may just do my normal update on the day that I said, or I may just do a quick video of the winner and then do my update the next day. We will see. Dave starts relief milking tomorrow. And it sounds like it's going to be a lot more than he thought. But, yeah, so we will see how that goes. I'm not sure how he's feeling about that, because it sounds like it's going to be a lot more than he was anticipating. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next week. Bye. Back again. I have finished kitting up my Dark Queen. It isn't Dark Queen. My mermaid cell. Oh dear. I changed how I was putting the threads on the thread jobs. I've actually used the hole on the tail now. Can you actually? It's a lot easier. It's not getting tangled up at all now. So just for anybody that does buy them or wins them from Jessica, that's a lot easier. I've put a few of my petite treasure braids on here as well. This is from the Dark Queen. That's why I was thinking of the Dark Queen. So I will just twist them up and then put the tail through the hole, and that is how I'll store them quite nicely, and they will go on that fabric. So this took a wee bit longer than I thought, because I've been out and I took a few photos. I took a photo of the Clutha River and the banana bridge to go onto the island that I was meant to take before we left the island, but I didn't, so I went back and did that today. And I also took a photo of the new town hall, the new community centre. Actually, it might be community centre that's being built at the moment. It is, they've been building it for the last year. I think it's 20 million, I think they're spending on the new community centre. Meant to be a cinema centre in there. So that'll be interesting. So I still need to find one skein. I haven't got 317. I don't know why. and I need to write on to say when I'm going to start the sale. The first part comes out on the 15th of September, so that will be the 16th here in New Zealand. So that's going to be pretty exciting.